Southbank. The road here, and there's another one coming the other way. There we go. Heavy transports, fuel trucks. Southbank is the second most densely populated suburb in Australia, and this is what the road running through it looks like. Hello, Bill Thompson. I've lived in City Road at Southbank for 17 years, and one of the ongoing issues in this area is the traffic on City Road, and especially this pedestrian crossing, at which I have witnessed dozens of vehicles running the red light over the 17 years. Not every day, not every week, but frequently enough to have caused me to report it to Victorian government and Vic Roads about potentially putting a more obvious warning sign. And here's the other issue about City Road, the fuel trucks that come along. First things first, the pedestrian lights. There's no one out at present, so unless someone presses the button, they don't turn red. But as I've said, one of my potential solutions, is to put a more dramatic warning display up under the bridge. So there is a flashing light when the lights are about to change, but I believe it needs to be more expressive to get people's attention, to make sure they're aware that these lights could be turning yellow or red as they're approaching. My other suggested solution was to drop the speed limit in this section of City Road down to Power Street to 40 kilometres an hour. It's currently 60 kilometres an hour, and most people observe the speed limit, but some don't. And with the amount of traffic, especially heavy vehicle traffic, with the high-rise apartment buildings that are nearby, and I read that Southbank is one of the most densely populated suburbs in Australia. And with the number of fuel trucks and gas trucks and heavy-duty vehicles that come down this road, I think it's an accident waiting to happen. Just before we moved into our apartment back in 2009, there was a crash in this very spot where a guy was speeding under the bridge here, lost control and ran onto the footpath and killed a young man who was standing outside a hotel. And it's concerned me ever since that there could be another incident of that nature. Okay, here's the yellow light, and okay, the guy decided to stop, but sometimes they don't. So a couple of issues. One is the pedestrian crossing here. Another issue is the motorbikes lane filtering. at stoplights and even with slowing traffic. And I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed by Vic Roads and the Victorian government. I regard them, motorcycles and push bikes and scooters, lane filtering through slow and or stop traffic are an absolute menace, and especially registered vehicles like motorcycles should be ruled by the same rules for cars and trucks. You keep to your lane and wait your turn. So, pedestrian crossing here, the speed limit along City Road, and the number of placarded loads that travel along here. My understanding is that the Burnley Tunnel is off limits for fuel tankers and some tall road vehicles, but because of the concern, the safety concern of having flammable materials in a tunnel. And I appreciate that's an issue. We've got a red light again. And this is occasionally the issue when the curb lane is closed but the centre lane isn't. Sometimes people fly down here. This guy's going to stop. Sometimes people fly down the middle lane and go straight through the red pedestrian light. Anyway, I retain serious concerns about the safety of people living in one of the most densely populated suburbs of Melbourne, when there are loads, dangerous loads that are too dangerous to go through the Burnley Tunnel, but it's perfectly okay for them to come down the main drag in the most densely, one of the most densely populated suburbs in Australia. Bill Thompson from Southbank.